Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show, and Locked On Phoenix Suns. The Cardinals, and more likely Michael Bidwill, failed their NFLPA report cards. Will Michael Bidwill ever change, and what is our reaction to this? We'll talk about that next.
Donnie Druin, Cardinals on SI beat writer. Reuben Bain's arms measurements came back, and it's not looking great. Should the Cardinals be deterred from a very rare moment in NFL history?
Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. A number of quarterbacks have now popped up in the Cardinals search for their next QB. Who will be the guy on the list? We'll talk about it here.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
What's up? Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all social media platforms. You can find those in the episode description or on YouTube, down in the YouTube description down below. And if you want to become an everydayer, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the Cardinals Squad Show. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Use your profit boost on an NBA future to get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. We got a lot of things to get into. We just learned a second ago that tomorrow is Jamil Douglas's 45th birthday.
45.
And how old are you actually turning?
Yeah, I'll be 34, man.
How old do you feel?
I feel great, so it doesn't matter.
Really?
I feel great.
Got out of the league, made your money.
Yeah.
Now as a business owner, and then now just talking ball. All right, 34.
I wouldn't rather spend my birthday eve talking to anybody else.
It's just so Jamil, we played basketball a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
And I looked at you and I was like, I can't believe that guy is only 6 years older than I am. That is a mammoth of a man.
Hey.
And I don't come up to his shoulders. Hey. That is always a harsh.
You're still a child.
Yeah.
At the child. End of the day, you know?
Yeah, a child that the hospital the other day said, hey, take this home. Don't let it die. So Lord. just yeah. God bless that baby. Similar to when I was a kid, we got these report cards, and I used to do the same thing that Michael Bidwill would oftentimes do, and just epically fail it and try to bury it, but ultimately it would come to light. And we saw a couple of weeks ago, one of the teams that tried to bury these NFLPA report cards were the Arizona Cardinals, as led by Michael Bidwill. Come to find out, turns out the Arizona Cardinals were trying to hide a poor report card from their parents, if you want to say that the Arizona Cardinals fan base are those people. And I want to have it, I should have had it up right here. Yes, here it is. So just a quick lowdown. Treatment of facilities, D+, home game field B, food and dining, C-, nutrition, dietization, B, locker room, F, training room, D+, weight room, B+. Overall ranking for all these things, including team ownership, and F, was ranked 31st in the NFL. Jamil, 2 questions for you to start this off. Did you were out of the league when they started this, right?
No, I was in the league when they said I'm really not 45. Like I'm actually turning 34.
What was the first? So when was it your last season that they did this for the first time?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I never paid attention to it until later in the year or later in my career where I started seeing them pop up. But
so
I don't
how does it work
in the first year? That's a good question. I believe you vote on it as a team, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not player by player.
No, it's player by player, but I'm saying as a team, everyone on the team votes, I believe. I don't really remember the logistics of how it works, but terrible for the Cardinals. I mean, to be ranked 31st, who was 32?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow. And that's surprising.
One of the reasons, their ownership got a bad grade, and their home field got an F. So I don't know if they're playing on just dirt and nothing else. But that was that. The Cardinals, just so we're clear, last year were the worst team in the NFL. So this is where it's ranked over the years. They were 31st the first year they made these things public. Then they moved all the way up to 27th. Then they fell back to worst in the NFL. And now this year they are second to worst in the NFL. I guess I would ask, how much do players like actually like put into this? Like, is this one of those things like at the end of the year where the teacher asks you to fill out a survey for them and we're just kind of filling it out quickly because she says you can leave as soon as you're done? Or do people take this seriously?
I don't think players take it into account that much, but I do think the reputation around the league and the upstairs portion of these teams in terms of ownership and, you know, staff, those teams actually do take it, or those people actually do take it serious. So it's not a good thing to be at the bottom half or the very bottom of the list every year, or even towards the bottom half. So that's got to be a terrible feeling as Michael Bidwill to get an F. To get an F as an owner when you have resources, and you know, it can either go one or two ways. I feel like at this point, he now has to start to turn it around. Like that should be a glaring issue, and I'm sure he's in the loop in terms of, you know, what these grades are. And so this should be something that he takes serious and begins to turn around after this grade. You muted my brother.
So he got an F in 2023, an F in 2024, a D- last year, and then back to an F. Donnie, what was kind of your reaction to this? And I don't know, like when I ask this next question, I genuinely do mean it. Like, are you surprised? Because if you're someone who for 3 years now, everyone has told you, like players, not like right now, people are coming after me on social media about something I said about Jalen Green. It doesn't bother me because it's fans of another team. This is literal players who are a part of your organization and around that are telling you it's awful. And yet he never changes. What was your reaction to it?
You look at the Commanders owner, for example. I think they were like 28th or 29th just a couple of years ago. I think it's Josh Snyder, his name. And they've leapfrogged the top 5 of these like rankings. And for Michael Bidwill to be the only NFL owner to have an F grade like this cycle, and you take into account like the previous grades he received too, it's one thing if people like me in the media are giving him this letter grade. It's one thing if people on Twitter are giving to it, but like these are direct players that he's signing off on their paychecks for. And it's not once, not twice, not 3, but 4 years in a row where you've ranked near the bottom of the league in terms of ownership. Like that has to tell you something. That has to say something to where like the very players in your building, if you care so much about winning, if you care about all of these things, but we're talking about the same organization that just 2 years ago, they only started like giving free meals to their players. It was taken out of their checks previously up until 2 years ago.
Crazy.
That's insane. That is insane, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have you ever been a part of that, Jamil? Without naming bad organizations, because you know you're a nice guy and you're not going to talk about that, and you're not going to about that team in Florida.
None of the organizations. No, I will say this: as much as I talk about the Dolphins in terms of the operation, first class. Like from the meal, you know, to travel, everything first class. I thought, you know, when I was playing, it was a big thing around the league is like Cincinnati's the place that does it the absolute worst. And I thought that was just like this hoax or this joke until I had a friend that went and played for Cincinnati, and he told me just how bad it is in terms of having to pay for your meals, walking out the door, things like that. That to me, you know, look, everyone wants to talk about how these guys are compensated, right? And they get paid this amount to play. They should be happy with this. There's also, these guys spend hours. You spend hours at the facility. And to say, oh, you have to go and pay for the food that you're using to fuel your body to go practice or play in games or to lift weights, like that to me is just crazy. Like those things should be done ad nauseum whenever a guy needs something, you know? And so I always thought it was crazy that happened, but I've always heard Cincinnati being the worst in terms of operation. The Cardinals seem like they're taking that torch. That's not a torch you want to pass on. But the good thing about it is you are turning over a new leaf. You've hired a new head coach. You are walking into the number 3 draft pick. We're not sure if they'll get their quarterback for the future. We'll talk about that later. But there's a lot of high hopes for the Cardinals, and there's a lot of momentum for Michael Bidwill to say, what I've done in the past has not been good enough. I am going to turn over a new leaf and get things going in the right direction.
How much do these grades do you guys think matter? Like, Jamil, is this going to dissuade? Let's just use Malik Willis. We're not in the idea of like they're going to get him or they should get him, they shouldn't get him, but like if the Cardinals want him, it sounds like there'll be a little bit of competition. How much of it do you think matters in like free agency or something?
We're being honest. Malik Willis, if the number 20 to 30 million is realistic,
he'll pay for his own meals.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares if there's breakfast in there every morning he walks in. Like, I'd be the happiest guy to walk in. You pay me 20, 30 million with the resume, So, listen, I do not believe that it holds weight in terms of acquiring free agents. Definitely not draft picks because those guys don't get to pick where they go. I think the majority of free agency is based on where can I get the most money at? And is this a right fit for me? Is this the right situation? And do I believe in the coaching staff? And so a lot of these grades, guys aren't on the flight, going to fly to visit these teams and looking at the grade. Like, that's just not happening. It's really about what does the check look like? And is this a good fit for me in my family if you have one at the end of the day? So I wouldn't put too much into it in terms of it deterring guys away. If anything, quarterback, who's your quarterback and who's your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator outweighs what grade you got with these report cards.
Donnie, if from like the player side, because obviously you and I can't speak on it if it actually matters, but putting that together with what he just said, does it feel like this is just a way for players to publicly shame Michael Bidwill? And like it's just a way for Cardinals fans 6247 on Twitter to say, see, I told you this owner's terrible. What do you think what does this accomplish?
I mean, they can't publicly make it known now because the NFLPA is not allowed to publicize it. Like the only reason we found out about the report card this year is because ESPN got their hands on it. I think I like the report cards because I think it held, even if it's just like 5%, it held a little bit of accountability for organizations because we don't get to see how these people operate behind closed doors. We see the product on the field. People like me, we're in the practice facility and we see press conferences and some practice time, but that's it. We don't know how awesome the weight room is. We don't know the strength and conditioning regime. We don't know the dietitians and all that stuff. And I think the report card really helped kind of shed a light on, hey, here's what teams are really doing it well. And here's what teams consistently are falling below the mark. And I think if you're Michael Bidwill and Woody Johnson, for example, with the Jets owner, was the guy who led the charge to get these report cards to not be publicized anymore. He was voted as one of the worst organizations in the league. And if you look at the NFL's grievance that they filed, they cited 11 different teams as, hey, you cannot be doing this anymore. Cardinals were one of them. The Jets were one of them. All of those organizations were awful. They graded awful on the report card. That's not a coincidence. And shame on us to hold owners and all of these billionaires accountable for just wanting to have better facilities and for players to have better stuff. So I think it wasn't an end all be all thing. It wasn't going to spur massive change, but the little bit of light the public got to see of how their favorite teams actually are was now taken away.
Listen, I'll say this, Ben. What the treatment of families being a D+ and the locker room being an F-, those two things can't exist. No more can those exist. The
locker room, what was the other one you said? Sorry.
Treatment of family being a D+.
So Donnie, does that just mean they're not letting players on the players' families on the field?
That's the thing with the Cardinals. That was
I don't
cited
know the day-to-day.
That was cited in the last report card. We didn't get details for this one. We only got the grades, but it's in the last report card. Like the Cardinals, they didn't have like a lot of sideline access for families like before games, I believe. And I think
how much does that matter?
That's a very big thing.
I mean, listen,
a lot.
Guys want to have their kids down there, their wives down there,
okay,
their significant others down there, their family members before games. You know,
it just matters a ton.
Yeah,
I'm not on the field. I don't know.
That's that's built in a lot of guys' routines. You know, and if you're a guy that you've worked that hard to have your family down there, like you want that. You know, considering what you're about to go do. So. I think it does matter. Those two things have to improve. And I know we got to move on, but like from your perspective, what is it with Michael Bidwill that would land him an F? Because that, as an owner, that to me is glaring to have an F.
You want to take that one, Donnie? I mean, you're in the
I was.
And I
was just looking at the family treatment thing. The Cardinals' biggest gripe last year was they wanted sideline access for their family, and then the family room they had at the actual stadium needs like a lot of like improvement and stuff.
What are they putting them in?
I have no clue. Bidwill slightly contributes to a positive team culture. And the players feel he is only somewhat committed to building a competitive team, which goes into his overall ranking.
Somewhat competitive. That seems like they were being nicer than I was being, but okay. Let's get to some combine talk. Reuben Bain Jr. They're making the jokes online, a little bit of shorter arms. Is that changing the way that even I view about where the Cardinals should go? The same argument, best available player, positions of need. David Bailey. Sonny Styles just ran a 4.28 40. Maybe the Cardinals just take him at 3 overall. Not really. Let's talk about that and a lot more next. Today's episode is brought to you by the folks over at FanDuel. Ever want to experience the NBA Finals live and in person? FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use Profit Boost on any NBA future, and you'll automatically be entered for a chance to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right, flights, tickets, the whole shebang. If you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock in. And I love futures this time of year, whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title. It adds that extra layer of excitement to every game down the stretch. And now, your pick can not only cash and get you money, but it can send you to the NBA Finals. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your Profit Boost on an NBA future and get entered for a chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. Let's go deep into the sorry, I was reading our private chats. It was not what I was expecting was going to be in there. Let's go deep into the combine talk. Jamil, you were a 4th round pick. Were you a part of the combine? I couldn't find that.
I was.
You were?
Yes,
Talk about your NFL combine experience.
What was that like? Hated it.
You didn't like being poked and prodded. How many bench reps did you have? 225.
I believe I did 29. My first two got taken away. So hey, listen,
you did 31 unofficially?
My first 2 got taken away. Yeah.
Why'd they get taken away? Did you not touch your chest?
You don't extend all the way. You know, you try to get the rhythm, and they don't count the first 2. So, it is what it is. I think they gave me credit for 28 or 29.
What else was it like? What did you not like about it?
Man, listen, I'll tell you this. And I don't understand why it's like this, but they purposely, I mean, even my experience with the Senior Bowl, right? Like they purposely want to make you uncomfortable. They purposely want to see you operate while you're tired, all of those things. Like the combine is very performative in terms of like, you want to put your best foot forward. And so you fly in and you're thinking, I think a lot of people think, okay, these guys get to get off of their feet for a little bit because they're going to go out and do all of this stuff. No, that is not the case. All right. So, for instance, fly in, you're going straight to medical. and medical can take anywhere from, it could be an hour if you don't have any injuries. And if you have had injuries documented in college, you could spend 8 or 9 hours doing medical stuff, going to get an MRI, going to get x-rays, all of these things. That's just the first night. The next day you wake up, there may be a 3:30 a.m. wake up call for you to go do a drug. I had a drug test at 3:45 a.m. And so, and you would think, oh, he's going to go back to his room and go sleep. No, negative. Like that drug test, there's 16 guys waiting in line, and some of those guys went pee before they walked down there. So they got to wait. You got to wait for the next person. And then you just go on and get, some teams request for interviews. Some teams, medical staff request to come see you. So you go to their room and they're moving you around and poking and prodding and trying to see if the injuries that you've had in college are still bothering you, things like that. And it's one of those things where you're really out there on the field, and that is like the first time that you don't feel like you feel like you're there doing football stuff. Even with me though, I didn't get to run my 3-cone drill. My flight, they scheduled my flight, I think it was like 3 p.m. By the time we got to the drills, they had someone tell you, hey, that this bus is leaving for these guys at this time for the flight. I didn't get to run my 3-cone drill because my flight was going to leave and they weren't going to reschedule for you to get on a different flight. So like you think about the hustle and bustle that you're in, it's a lot. You're having to be sharp mentally. I had about 6 meetings with different teams, talking scheme, talking film, pulling up all your bad plays, all of those things. So the combine, it's a unique experience for sure. I'm not saying I hated it from a standpoint of getting the opportunity. I love that, but within it, there's a lot that happens.
There's so much there.
Yeah, sorry,
there's so much. Donnie, do you? I don't want Donnie. Donnie, do you have something you want to ask, or are you just?
Nah, Jamil's experience. I was at the combine the last like 4 years before this year.
Oh yeah.
Lines up with everybody that I've talked to there. I think they might have like rerouted some of the scheduling because I talked to guys who had their like podium interviews delayed a little bit because like the machines were too slow for morning medicals, and that just pushes everything back. And the lack of sleep is like a really big thing. Like the jam-packed interviews is a big thing. Like if anybody thinks these guys are just like having a vacation in Indianapolis, it's the exact opposite. Like this is a primary time for teams, and like, on-field drills are very important, but I think the biggest takeaway for organizations is the face-to-face interview time, and then the medicals. The medicals are massive. Yeah. And if there's something wrong, like Jamil said, like they're going to find it. They're going to get to the bottom of it because each team brings their own medical team to Indianapolis.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't want to spend the entire time on this, but I am just curious. And if I am curious, that means other people are curious. What do they do in those medical rooms?
Like just imagine you lay on a training table, right? You lay on a training table, and there's probably around 8 people around you, and there's probably 1 or 2 people with a clipboard that are literally have a body chart, right? They got pages of your stuff pulled up, and there's a physical therapist or a orthopedic doctor or someone from the team going through, pulling on an ankle, jerking a knee or twisting a shoulder, trying to see if the range of motion is there, pulling on the neck, like just trying to see what exactly, if you're going to twinge or if you're going to say, hey, that bothers me. Like you'll spend a good 2 hours in a room and let you, and if that team, like the Patriots were very thorough in their pre-draft process, let you have 4 or 5 of those type of meetings, right? Like, what does your day now look like? You have spent no time hydrating for what you're about to do on the field. You see these guys pull their hammies, running a 40 or pull up, doing something like that. Like, they didn't just slack off in training. They didn't have time to hydrate after a flight, and they've been in a meeting room for 8 hours, and now they got to go straight to the field the next day. Like, it's a lot that goes into it for sure.
Was there, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but was there something you're like, I don't know if you hurt your shoulder in college.
I had an ankle injury.
Okay, an ankle injury.
Yeah.
When you're going through that, and I don't know if you had an agent or something, but you definitely had your camp, right? Your guys that you leaned on or whatever.
Sure.
Was there like hey, they're going to pull on your ankle. You cannot move. You need to just take it.
100%. I had an ankle injury, and this was the reason.
Crazy.
This was the reason I went and trained at IMG Academy, because IMG Academy was one of the best physical therapy facilities in the country at the time. And so I went and trained there and worked extensively on the ankle. I mean, probably 3 sessions a day in terms of rehab to allow muscles to take over instead of the ligaments. I had a torn ligament in my ankle. And so, you know, I go to all these meetings, I get x-rays, I get whatever MRIs, and the big thing is just not showing pain in those things, you know, or they dock you down. So I took a couple Tylenol before the meetings and had a good time. Great time.
Did you do any on-field drills at the combine?
I did.
Okay. I don't know about the player perspective. Can you talk about how quiet it is in that stadium? Because I was so used to watching it on TV, and then I got here for the first time, and I sat in the stands. I'm like, this is it's like a library.
It's eerie. It's eerie for sure. You could hear a pin drop on turf. Like, it's literally there is no one talking besides a coach on the field. Everyone else is just silent, you know? So you talk about like pressure, right? You look up in the stands, you see these coaches, and they're all far away from you. They're sitting in boxes, you know, and it's just quiet. So a lot of these guys are, you know, going there and they're performing under these circumstances. And, you know, the guys that perform well, obviously kudos to them, but some of these guys don't perform well and they get docked. And it's like, well, just look at the tape and watch their tape, because a lot of these circumstances aren't going to necessarily hold true when you go play a game.
How much does the combine matter? We're going to move some things around now that we're here, but like we'll get to Reuben. We'll do that all in the next segment here. But how much do you think the combine matters? Like how much does the underwear Olympics
you
translate
want my honest opinion?
Yeah. How much does the underwear Olympics translate to on the field?
I don't believe that the combine matters as much these days. I think back in the day, yes, maybe, you know, but nowadays, I mean, some of these guys are just natural bred athletes. Like they're not, and they may not run fast in a drill, but they're football players, you know. Like I saw a drill where they're having guys roll back and seeing if they could touch their feet behind their head. And I'm just like, if you're in that position on the field, you're probably getting a minus on your card. So that's not something that I would be testing. What are we testing? Low back flexibility, like don't get knocked on the ground. That's just part of it. But I don't feel like a lot of merit should be put into it. I think for certain positions, you want to see them run a 40, but we've all heard, you know, no one's ever running 40 yards straight on a football field. That's just the reality of it. Even if you're a running back and you don't get touched, you're never running 40 yards straight unless you got right up the field, but it rarely ever happens. And so I think certain drills are good. I don't think the bench press matters much for an O lineman. What does that, you know, what does that show? That, you know, a lot of O-line strengths is played through the hips and through the ground and, you know, through the core. That like bench press to me does not really, you know, baseline that. So that's just my opinion on it after going through it and after seeing guys who perform terrible at the combine and then have a great career, and then guys who perform great at the combine and then they get on the field and you're like, sheesh, this isn't you know.
Well, it's just hard not to fall in love. Like Zach Wilson got drafted number 2 overall because of a throw. It feels like because he had that really good pro day. And then I see someone like right now, like I joked about it. Sonny Styles is like a legitimate freak right now. Jumping 43.5-inch vertical, just ran a 4.28 40 as a linebacker. And it's like, how come that stuff doesn't just translate to the pros? Like, would anyone be surprised if Sonny Styles was just a journeyman linebacker? Like Isaiah Simmons was this Simmons guy
2.0, right?
Yeah, it's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
But now that we've got that out of the way, there are some measurements that were interesting from Reuben Bain Jr. And it's kind of got myself thinking maybe the Cardinals can't take that risk. We'll see if that actually matters, the measurement, or if we're doing the heart over height type of argument. Let's talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. As I, just completely, oh, there it is. Things just aren't loading on my end. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy flavor draft with 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone. The board is set. The flavors are ready. I've got my number pick for the 5 Hour Flavor Energy draft. Cherry, man. That bold cherry candy style flavor. Sweet with a light tart edge, classic red fruit profile, bright punchy taste, clean, and a slightly tangy finish. Listen, if you're talking about maybe a under the radar ad, what about strawberry banana? Sweet strawberry flavor front, soft mellow banana finish, very low acidity and easy to drink, gentle, sweet aftertaste. It's everything you got to love in those kind of 5 Hour Energy shots. They give you a boost with zero sugar. 5 Hour Energy also has a lot of upcoming flavors and initiatives planned. Listen, there's a bunch of different flavors that I would like to see made, and we'll see what 5 Hour Energy does. But what we will say is find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Okay. It's always interesting to hear about the combine, because it feels like every year it maybe comes down like a step every year. I seriously wonder 5 years from now if we're still talking about the combine the same way we talk about now, with the amount of players that just opt out. They're like, we're just gonna talk to teams. We'll just do the medicals. We're not doing any of the on-field stuff. One guy who I've been advocating for is Reuben Bain Jr. And I think one of the things that really caught my eye was just how dominant he was in the national championship game. Like, it felt like single-handedly almost willing them to a championship. And again, maybe this is something Jamil can talk me off of. I see the measurements for not just him, but Arvell Reese as well, which didn't measure great in terms of pure pass rushers. And now it's kind of got me thinking, okay, the Cardinals can't make this mistake. They can't take a risk. They've got to take the most surefire, best available guy. And now I feel like I'm swinging back over to the offensive line route, Donnie.
Yeah, either one of two things is going to happen. Either number one, the arm length thing is going to be an actual problem at the NFL level, or two, we're going to look back years later from this and people are going to feel really dumb thinking that Reuben Bain couldn't get to the quarterback because his arms were 1.5 inches shorter than the next guy's. Like, it's either going to be one of two things. And like, Jamil, I want to toss this over to you because I'm so curious, because my understanding of the arm length thing is his inability with the short arms will be to create that separation for the offensive tackles to be able to get to him and reach him. It's just that much quicker, which will obviously slow him down, prevent him from getting to the quarterback, and et cetera. Like, I don't know how much stock to put into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? Because you're like, everyone's so high up on this guy. Has a great college career, shows up in the playoffs. And now we get to the combine, you measure his arms, and it's like, oh, he's not the same player anymore. He's still Reuben Bain Jr. I listen, I get it, right? Everyone in college doesn't make it to the NFL. Some of the tackles that he played don't make it to the NFL. If I'm the Cardinals and I'm thinking about Reuben Bain Jr., I'm going and asking, what did he look like in practice every day? Because one of his teammates is going to be a first-round pick, and they played against each other every single day. So I need to know, okay, did he have issues with him? Whatever. I don't agree with it. I think it has some merit because everyone's like, Will Campbell struggled out of LSU. Will Campbell's a rookie left tackle that played next to a rookie left guard as well. And they went to the playoffs, played against some really good defenders. He gave up sacks. He gave up pressures. It is what it is. That guy still has unlimited ability in his lower body and the way that he plays football. Like, I just don't believe in it. I don't believe that a guy can have such a great college career that he is possibly a top 5 pick and he can go to the combine, and now you can sit there and say he may not be worthy of a top 5 pick because his arms are short. I would laugh. I would laugh in someone's face.
It's so hard for me to say this to a former NFL player. Like, I feel like, and I'm not just saying like his arms are short. According to ESPN, it would be the shortest arms drafted at edge in the last 20 years. Does that not make you? That's what I'm saying. The dude's built like a bowling ball. Like, Are we not a little concerned that, like, okay,
no,
there's no press. It's like Kyler Murray coming out of the draft at 5'10 and a half, and it was, or 5'10 and an eighth, and it was like there's no precedent of this working in the NFL. Should the Cardinals be willing to take that risk? And I know you're not like, I know you're big on very build the offensive line, but like without that argument, like should you look at that and say to yourself, okay, we can't afford to take that. It's like Jalen Carter years ago, where it's like he's got real character concerns, and the Eagles are like, what do we care? Like, we'll just take a swing on him. We've got 15 guys on defense that'll make up for it. Like, there's got to be that risk reward for the Cardinals where they do kind of have to play it a little carefully.
Okay, so he's got short arms, so
very short arms. He's
not worth the risk.
I don't know. It sounds crazy.
I mean, what type of are we talking about? Like you know, I guess it depends on what you want. If you want a guy that, I mean, he plays physical, you know, he plays the game the right way. A lot of the reason that he is going to be a first round pick are the intangibles that he has instinctively as a football player. And so, you know, if you believe in the guy, you take him. If you don't believe in him because he got short arms and you can't turn on the tape and see what did he look like when he played against a 6'5" or 6'6" offensive lineman, these coaches have access to all the film, practices, games. They can go and check it out. If he looks like he struggles, I get it. But if we're just basing it off, I mean, I'm imagining that they pulled out a ruler and they measured this guy's arms and everyone in the auditorium went, oh, you know, like it's just like you didn't know this by looking at him when you like you definitely scouted him during games and went to spring practices. So this is not anything new that you're just finding out. You knew this. It's just now that the public gets the measurement. Now you're saying, I don't know if he's the type of player that, you know, will translate to the NFL. Like, get out of here. Get out of here with that. Like,
Donnie, I don't know what to say. It's a really good rebuttal, but damn it, I just don't want to take any risks.
No, I want to tie this around like back to like the whole like why the combine is here thing. Like, I think the combine, like more than anything, is just to confirm some things for teams. Maybe it's checking out a medical. Maybe it's okay, you know, this guy had an ankle injury. Let's look at him in his medical room, and then okay, like he's gonna run. We'll see how good that ankle is at, you know, in about 3 or 4 hours. It's we're at the point in the draft cycle where we're starting to build profiles. Like you need reports with strengths and weaknesses. There's no player with no weaknesses. Like you have to find something to put on that scouting report. For Reuben Bain, it's going to be his short arms. For David Bailey, it's going to be his overall frame as an edge rusher compared to other NFL players. For For Arvell Reese, it's going to be the lack of like dominating one position. You know, are we going to draft him as an edge rusher whenever he primarily played inside linebacker at Ohio State? Like there's a risk to all of these guys. There is no such thing as the sure fire bet in the NFL. Like if we can go down the line of NFL picks. Fernando Mendoza, the unquestioned number 1 pick this year, has a lot where people are like, I don't know. So like, it's not just Reuben Bain. And if we really want to overthink this, we can overthink this for literally any player you want to draft.
I mean, look, I'm looking at a comparison. Melvin Ingram. They
very
say
good player.
They say Melvin Ingram was just about the same in terms of arm length. He had a little bit longer arms. Like Melvin Ingram was a problem, and it wasn't because of his arms. It was because he could turn the corner, he could mix guys up with his feet, and he knew how to use his body to get to the quarterback. And so, I mean, look, we could throw all that we want in there. Like, it's crazy.
I have a stupid question for you. Do you guys think Reuben Bain Jr. knew? Yeah, you're the worst. You're the worst. Do you think Reuben Bain Jr. knew he had short arms before this weekend?
No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? He's like, what? I didn't know.
Yes, Ben. Yes, he knew.
You think he knew he had T-Rex arms?
You think he woke? You think
it's the shortest in 20 years? Like, I know I'm short, but it wasn't until I got in an elevator with a bunch of Diamondbacks players the other day and realized how short I was.
Bro, his arms are short. I mean, look, it is what it is. I don't think he was surprised with the rest of the people. He knew. Listen, when you go and train, they do all of this stuff. They like when you go to a training facility and you're training for the combine, they measure you just like they're doing combine prep with you. Like they simulate all of these things. So he knew once he put his arms out wide what the measurements were gonna be. Like this wasn't. He didn't put his hand over his mouth after the measurement and be shocked with everyone else. Like he knows, you know. So this isn't a secret, and this isn't something that I feel like should knock a guy's draft stock down. Like I don't believe in it. I believe that you turn on the tape and you can find out if he struggles against guys that have arm length, or does he make up for it with the way that he gets off the ball, with the way that he attacks the football, with how smart he is. If he can do those things, everyone has weaknesses. That's just the reality of it. Like, and so you know, you're gonna skip on a guy that's been deemed a first round talent because he's got 30-inch arms. Good luck to you.
This tweet is really funny. It says Reuben Bain Jr. has T-Rex arms, but he is literally a T-Rex.
Hey, so
it's
100%.
It's a good point.
100%.
Here's another thing. Arvell Reese is someone that could very much fall to the Arizona Cardinals. I will openly admit that I just have Isaiah Simmons regret. And it's the old saying of like, master of all, what was it? Jack of all trades, master of none. Is there worry? Is there worry there with Arvell Reese, Donnie, that you're just like, you just can't take that risk there? And from what you know, Donnie, like, I don't know how much you're grinding the tape on Arvell Reese, but like, no, he's an edge, right? He's an off-ball linebacker.
Well, he can play both inside and outside, but he said at the combine, I believe, that he believes he's an NFL edge rusher. If a team drafts him high, you're not going to draft an inside linebacker that high. Like if Arvell Reese goes as early as we think, he's going to be an edge rusher. I've seen some like Micah Parsons comparisons, just thanks to the versatility of him being like an inside guy, an outside guy. This is different than Isaiah Simmons. And I think people, especially in Arizona, need to get that comparison out of their heads. Like they're two different players from two different programs. Their roles were completely different. Like I understand like the versatility thing hasn't worked out with Isaiah Simmons or Zaven Collins for that matter, but like you cannot let that get into your head, because like if we, for example, the whole arm thing with Reuben Bain, like if we as like a NFL draft society knock Arvell Reese down because of his versatility and his lack of just really, hey, like he showed he's an edge rusher, not an inside linebacker, or vice versa. And he goes on to have a very successful career. And there were NFL talent evaluators that just said, well, I didn't know. Like, it's like you are going to feel dumb if we look back 5 years from now and you're like, we didn't take him because Isaiah Simmons hurt us. Like that, you can't let that happen. You're muted.
But isn't there a risk to a guy?
There's a risk with everything.
Yeah,
but
for sure. But don't you have to mitigate the risk if you're in the Cardinals position? Like, you have to get this right. It's the Jalen Carter conversation I was saying before. Like, he's got these clear character concerns, and you can't take that risk if you're the Cardinals, but the Eagles can because they've got 15 other all-pros. That's what I mean by it. Of course, there's risk with all these guys.
What's going to happen if the Cardinals miss to go 3-14 again? Oh, no. That is quo. Like, this should not. And the NFL draft, it's a dart throw. Like, people get on their general managers all the time, but like the reality is the success and the hit rate of these draft picks is so little compared to the big field. There's a reason why the average NFL career is like a little less than 3 years. Like, it is hard to make it to the NFL. It is hard to be a good NFL player, and not every shiny prospect is going to pan out. Like, that's just reality.
He ain't lying. He's not lying.
Listen, did you guys know I have I struggle with a bit of anxiety, and when this kind of stuff happens, I just get a little anxious. All right, and I worry that we're gonna make the wrong pick here. We'll see how that goes. The Arvell
good is
Reese
that
thing,
the Cardinals have so many holes. They can go Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Reuben Bain, Francis Mwaga, Spencer Fano, Caleb Downs, and it's like, okay, great pick. Let's move on. Like, there's
Jeremiah
so
Love.
many places they need to fill.
Jeremiah Love, Jamil Douglas.
My name is not in the hat. I think Jeremiah Love would at number 3 would be ridiculous. I think it'd be ridiculous.
Sure.
So
for sure. It's a running back.
If they do that, then they are off their rocker. I can tell you that much.
And they are. And here's why. A couple of names from the combine that are being floated around. We've seen people report Tyson Bagent. We've seen people report Malik Willis. There's a new bombshell in the villa, Donnie. His name is Geno Smith. And everyone exhales in annoyance. Who will the Cardinals quarterback be next year? Let's talk about that next. So, there's been a report that the Cardinals could go after Tyson Bagent. They could be going after Malik Willis. And they could be going after Geno Smith. These 3 guys, Donnie, before we dive into each of them, we've talked a lot about Malik Willis, and I want to fight with you about Malik Willis a little bit because I've seen some of your just ridiculous and negative take about it online.
Called worse, Ben.
By me personally. by these 3 guys, what was kind of your instant reaction to seeing some of these guys being floated out there by numerous different people?
We're just reshuffling chairs on the deck of the.
What does it matter
at this point, bro? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I've had some people come at me for my like Malik Willis take. I don't think they should get him. I don't think they should throw him 20 or 30 million. I don't care how the contract is structured. I don't care how many years it's worth. I think the Cardinals' future quarterback is not currently available. Not in 2026. They have a bridge quarterback already set in place in Jacoby Brissett. I am very much of the opinion that they should take any resources more that they want to allocate to that position and just fill gaps. They're not a quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. No. There's so many other spots on this team, notably the offensive and defensive line, that need work. So whoever quarterback, whether it's Jacoby or someone else that they bring in after that, can be upright and hand the ball off 30, 35 times a game without having to hit the ground every other play. Like, I think people are bored in the offseason. They want something new. Kyler Murray is going to be gone. They want to find the quick fix right away. That's not reality. This isn't Madden. That's not how things work in the NFL.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look, I've said over and over, I love the idea of Malik Willis, but not for the price that Malik Willis is going to get. I think that if this guy is a $10 million type of investment, then maybe I could understand. And I think it would be interesting because he has been in that offense. And so you kind of skip the progression of teaching a quarterback. You bring him in, you've got Jacoby there. And I think it makes sense. But with it being 20 to 30 million, I don't believe that it will happen because I don't think that investment wise it makes sense. What also does not make sense is how Geno Smith got on the list. If listen, to me,
maybe they're trying to tank.
Well, to me, if I get hired as a first-time head coach, I would not allow Geno Smith in my building. That is just the cold hard facts about it. He isn't. I mean, he might be older than Mike LaFleur is in terms of.
That's a good question.
In terms of football, years, he might have more experience than he does, or they may be close to the same age. Regardless, what I'm saying is how I've seen Geno interact through turmoil with the Raiders. I can't bring that into my building when I'm trying to turn around an organization. I feel like Donnie said, I don't think truly the quarterback of the Cardinals' future is available right now. The person that they see that makes sense for them financially and logistically, I don't think they're available. I do think, what it sounds like they're moving on. They've already moved on from Kyler, but it sounds like they're either going to trade or cut whatever. Kyler won't be in the picture. Jacoby's going to be the guy at the end of the day, and I think that's a safe option. I think from a standpoint of instilling your culture, Jacoby is a great leader. He's been around winning, a winning culture. He's been around transitioning, with coaches and things like that. And so I believe they have the guy in Jacoby. Would love to see it pan out with Malik Willis, but I don't think it's going to happen.
The Tyson Bagent has shown qualities of being like a really, really good backup quarterback, like someone that you can put in there. And if Caleb Williams is gone for 6 games, you still feel like you can go 4-2. Is he significantly better than Jacoby Brissett? I don't get that.
I don't think. I didn't look at their trade interest in him as like, hey, we need to upgrade at quarterback.
You think he'd be a backup?
I just do that told me everything about how the Cardinals want to approach the offseason. Is they want a cheap alternative backup to Jacoby Brissett with not long-term commitment in their plans. Bagent he perfectly fits the mold of what Monty asked for one side of a quarterback. It's a big, tall, athletic dude. Like you don't need a Malik Willis in your quarterback room with Jacoby Brissett. Like you need like a younger guy who fits the mold of what you want to run with Michael LaFleur's offense. And Tyson Bagent's that guy. And I don't think I looked at that as more so, they want Bagent, however you say his name. It's more so, hey, like here's what we're identifying, kind of our like boxes we want checked for another quarterback behind Jacoby Brissett.
And then here's the other thing. I have seen Donnie's view on Malik Willis, and I don't know if you've seen kind of my take on it, Donnie, but Jamil and Don and Clancy are both kind of in the same place of like, why would you throw this much money at him? My quick 1-minute pitch that I've been saying for a little bit now is, let's say you give him 3 years, $90 million. Like, let's say it's gross. Let's just say it's gross, just for the sake of the argument. We can say it's 3 years, whatever. $75 million. Like, say it's $25 million a year. And I think it's going to be north of that. If the contract is front loaded and the guaranteed money, which is king in the NFL, isn't like, let's say it's $50 million guaranteed. Like, let's just say it's that. And it's front loaded for the first 2 seasons. Either A, he's awesome, and now you actually have a bargain at quarterback for the next 2 seasons. Or B, he sucks. You draft his replacement next year. The Cardinals aren't competing next year, so they take his 1-year cap hit. And then that second year with that rookie quarterback, they're probably ready to compete, and the cap hit is so minimal, I think it's worth the risk. That's my take of it. Now, am I going to give him 3 years, $115 million? Like, there is a number that I'm like, that's not worth it to me. But that's where I'm coming at it in. And I'm honestly just in like the give it a shot. it's worth the roll of the dice. What say you?
Yeah, I think trying to get Malik Willis with all the other problems in Arizona is like your light bill's off because you can't pay the electricity, but like you're going to buy a lottery ticket. Like we're not taking care of what we need to at home before we try to go take a gamble and go take a chance. And like the Malik Willis argument,
it's a good
basically funnels down to whether you think he's worth the risk, whether you think he's worth the investment. I don't care if it's front loaded, back loaded, whatever. Like you are going to pay him significant money. That's not a rumor. That's not a wish. Like that is going, and especially with like a handful, like 5 or 6 teams needing a quarterback, like there's going to be a market for him. You are not the only team bidding for his services. And a guy like Malik Willis is coming off his rookie deal is going to go to the highest bidder. He absolutely is. Like Jamil said, like if I'm seeing $30 million a year, I'll pack my lunch every day. I do not care. I'm getting that money.
Yeah, for sure. And I listen, I think if the Cardinals do make a play for him, it's because Matt has assured Mike that this guy is the real deal. And so you're looking at it in terms of like, you know, we may all be shocked and the Cardinals fans maybe all be shocked. Why did he get $20 to $30 million a year? That money's only there because of Mike and Matt's relationship, and they have stripped this down to a T to find out, is this a guy that can start in the league? And so if the signing does happen, don't be alarmed. I feel like you should be confident because, you know, they believe that he is a guy that could start. And so that's really how I look at it at face value. Like these guys have that relationship, and regardless of whether you think they're sharing info, they are. And they watch film together. They talk about, can he operate? Do you believe that he's a starter? And so be confident if they do sign him.
So Donnie, how much of the $35 million a year is agent pushing through Ian Rappaport, through Schefter, through whoever? Because I saw the report the other day. He could get $35 million. I think that's BS. I think 30, maybe. I whatever. I look around the league. There are quarterback needy teams, but the Cardinals are kind of in a special place all on their own. One, they actually have the money to give Malik Willis. The Dolphins, the people have mentioned this. There's no way they can make it happen. There's no way. And the Cardinals are in a unique position where they have a GM on the hot seat. He's got to make a play. They actually have the money to give it to him, and there is a connection with him. The Steelers, does Mike McCarthy really need to hitch his wagon to Malik Willis, or does he have to? Does he feel like he needs to? Like the Cardinals almost feel like they have to take this risk, which again is not a great place to be in. But like the Falcons, does who's their new head coach? Does Kevin Stefanski think he has to do this right now? Like other people have a leash; they can wait till the 2027 draft.
You can make the argument like Stefanski's offenses are very quarterback friendly, and like that Atlanta roster is ready to win now with all the weapons in that offense. Like they almost made the playoffs. If they would have had better quarterback play, they would have been there. And I think like it is like a team by team case and basis. But like for example, like the Steelers, like the expectation is Super Bowl every year in Pittsburgh. This is not Arizona. Like you need to produce and you need to make the playoffs every year, or else like stuff is going to happen. Whereas in Arizona, like you haven't made the playoffs since 2021. You haven't won a playoff game since 2015. Like I get the want for Malik Willis. If the Cardinals do sign Malik Willis, I understand the thinking. I definitely do. I don't think that is a wise investment when you already have Jacoby Brissett on the roster. I would allocate those resources elsewhere.
Okay. Well, Donnie and Jamil want to run it out with Geno Smith next year for $5 million. And I want to take a swing. I want to better this team.
I will take $5 million. Sign me as a quarterback. I will start working on my shoulder right now.
Jamil, could you complete one pass right now in a game?
In a game? One? Yes, absolutely. What? One?
Okay. 1 5-yard pass. I'm going to put some yardage on it.
Yeah. Smart, dog. I know what coverage it is. Now, how many times is it? Like I may be 0 for 15 before I complete it, but yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm just
whatever.
I'm not gonna. I don't think I could.
I don't want to make it seem like it's that easy, but I think
it is. I mean, you just got to throw the ball to the open player. I mean, what's so hard? You just got to put the ball in the end zone.
That panic has to be real. I standing back there, I would definitely have to be in the shotgun. Can I pick my offensive line?
I mean, if you could, then most people could do it. Is Lane Johnson going to be your left tackle and you're going to be the I
don't want Lane at left tackle. Lane plays right. So
right tackle. Pick whatever you want, Jamil.
Just letting you know your guys.
Okay. All right. I'm not even going to try anymore. Good show, gentlemen. Good show. Hey, Donnie, I texted Jamil the other day because I saw Jamil. I wanted to buy a Jamil Douglas jersey on eBay.
Yeah, he did.
I wanted to buy it and just put it in the background. I thought it'd be funny. I was like, oh, I'll pay $50. It'd be a good gag joke. I'll just put it back there. $500. And then I text Jamil and I go, hey, why is your jersey on there for $500? Turns out it was stolen.
Somebody stole that jersey out of my storage. Really? So if you guys see it, get it for me. Yeah, I had a storage when I was in Miami. Came back to move out the storage. Storage had been rummaged through. So
gotta be it's one of the cool ones though. It's orange.
It's orange, so, man. We played Cincinnati. We got whooped. But
if that price tag ever comes down.
Listen, at the same time, you stole the Tom Brady Super Bowl jerseys then.
Yeah.
And
I'm nowhere close to Tom. So
yeah, did you get a Super Bowl jersey?
Yes, I have it. Do you want me to frame that one instead? I'll put that one up.
I want you to get me Jamil. I think we're close enough. I think you need to get me a jersey.
In the show, bro. In the show.
Yeah. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow us on all social media platforms. We'll see you guys next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching the Cardinal Squad Show.